Ro,
Hey,
how are you, mate?
good. How are you?
Yeah, going all right, going good. I'm glad that we got this going, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on here. I've been listening to a lot of your stuff, mainly through Epitaph.
You said what?
I've been
Oh,
I've
you found it through Epitaph?
Yeah, and I'm glad I found it. That's how I used to find my music, and go through the record labels, and I was like, I want to check what Epitaph's got out at the moment, and I saw your stuff and the lyrics and the videos, and I got to tell you, I was like, this is different. This is something I haven't heard, experienced. And as soon as I saw it,
That's
I was
cool.
like, I've got to get him on the podcast. So it's good to have you
That's
on.
awesome. Yeah, no, it's good to be on the podcast, man. Thanks for inviting me.
That's all good. You've been busy. Were you in the studio as of like today or yesterday?
No, I'm practicing for a tour in Europe. I'm going to open for Ricky Montgomery's tour. So that's gonna be fun. They just got a bigger venue in Dublin, I think. So that's
Okay.
exciting. Yeah, more people to, play in front of and have them hear my, noises I make on stage. So that's great.
Has all of this come very quickly for you? Does it feel like it's a bit of a whirlwind the last, especially the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years?
Kind of, I don't know. I guess so, yeah. It seems really slow and really fast at the same time, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I'm really impatient. In my mind, I'm famous, you know. You know what I mean?
Hey,
But
you kind of are famous on TikTok. I mean, I was looking at some of your numbers. It's insane. Like, you've got a big following.
yeah, no, I mean, trust me. I mean, that's why it feels like it's fast because at the same time, it's like, I just remember like 2 years ago being like, oh my God, it'd be so great if I could make rent. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I was just freaking out for just like not having to work, a retail job and whatever. And I remember during that point in time, I was eating, the Chipotle hack that you could do. You can get like everything on the side. Yeah, there's like a Chipotle hack. You get everything on the side, and you could roll it up in a tortilla that you get on the side, and it was like $4. So I was eating like Chipotle every day, which is probably
oh.
going to give me colon cancer, but knock on wood. But yeah, and yeah, because I was just trying to make music and not work a lot. But anyway, off on a tangent. So yeah,
The story of you is quite fascinating. There's not a lot about you online and stuff. I mean, it's starting to grow now.
yeah.
I feel like all of that is obviously to come as more people find out about you every single day that passes by. But you started off in St. Louis. That's where you grew up. You ended up in Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville. I was going to school in Nashville. It was okay. I wasn't a big fan of Nashville, to be honest. Like, a lot of
Really?
nice people. Yeah, yeah, a lot of nice people and stuff. And like, I think a good recording scene there. But I think it's really hard to break into the things in Nashville. I think there's definitely like a boys' club there that are like they're all together and they know each other. And I wasn't a part of it. Not to like bash anybody or any place. It was tough there for me. And when I moved to LA, there was a lot more people open and willing to just make music, it seemed like, which was interesting. I thought it would have been different, but opposite, but not my
Yeah.
experience.
You picked up and said, stuff it, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna go to Hollywood. You went to Hollywood with no money.
Right. Yeah.
And did was it someone there that said, "Hey man, you can write a song. Like you should be doing this."
Those two people, there was one of my friends, he's a producer, his name's Sensu is his producer name. He actually had asked me to come out there to like make some music with him because he was like, hey man, you're pretty good, you should come out here. And then my uncle actually had asked me to come out there because he had been out there for a long time, like years and years and years. And he actually was even like in the music industry for a little while too. And he was like, dude, you need to come out here, this is like where all the stuff is, like come take a chance. So, and actually, I stayed with him for a few months too when I was out there before
Yeah.
I jumped ship and lived in North Hollywood and was roughing it. Like I think some of my floorboards were like missing in the apartment I had. So to go from my uncle's house to that was pretty rough, but it was fun nonetheless.
Yeah, that is
So
roughing it when there's no floorboards. That is, that is as rough as it gets.
there were floorboards, they just weren't, they didn't have all of them.
Uh,
You know.
um, obviously, once you get to Hollywood, you're recording a few songs, and then someone tells you, "Hey, you should try TikTok or start doing silly videos." And what was your first response? Did you want to be doing that?
No, I did not. Like, I really didn't want to. My friend Dolo tonight told me to do it because I was kind of like under the impression like where all the bands I loved, it feels like the albums fall out of the sky. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like a lot of those '90s albums and even like 2010s albums. It was like, where did this come from?
yeah,
And how did I even hear about this? And I didn't. I don't know. And then obviously the internet has really kind of taken that position for everybody, like finds the music for you. And I was kind of against it in a way, but not actively, just kind of like, subconsciously it was just not my thing. And then my friend was like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, like, do you not care about your music? You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I do. I mean, I should at least be doing everything in my power, no matter how ridiculous and corny I feel doing it. You know what I mean? Like, really, really fucking trying, and because like at the end of it all, it's like if you didn't make it or whatever, it's like at least you could say, oh, I tried everything, I did everything that I
that's
was
true. You
supposed
had
to,
a good enough
like,
crack. Yeah.
right, exactly. So anyway, so no, that's not how I felt at first, but now obviously like it has done a lot for me and I should be grateful and appreciative of it. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
obviously in some kind of rhythm at the moment because all I'm seeing is your face every day. It's
Oh, well, I'm sorry, man. That probably is horrible.
no, it's good, man, and I think it's one of those things where I just watch it and I go, how do you find the time to get it all in, you know? And you're releasing a
Oh
song
yeah.
every 6 weeks as well, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, attempting to. Right now, I've actually kind of I know it doesn't look like it, but I put all those videos on the back burner, like TikTok. Like it used to be more of a spur of the moment thing, but now, so I'm basically working with Just Tilted is her name. Her and I like we make videos like every week, and like we'll put together like 10 videos or something for me, so I can like use them. And the reality of the situation is I'm like actually really impatient right now because I have all this music for an EP that I want to show everybody, but I really don't, I can't because like it's precious and special and I want it to be so good when it comes out. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna end up like promoting that later. And that's gonna be more of the spur of the moment stuff again, where I'm like actively promoting it and like
Yeah.
coming up with new ideas every day. But yeah, no, I mean that's probably what it feels like. I could see it from the outside. It's like, how the hell does this guy keep making videos every day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it looks like you've changed your tact a little bit because I think you were just like when you started, you were just playing songs and showing people songs even if they weren't out yet, right?
yes,
And
yes,
sort of
yeah.
gauging interest through TikTok to see if people wanted to hear more of the song.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but it was also at the same time I kind of saw it as like a writing exercise because I was actually, I mean, I was trying to get better as a writer too at the same time. I was trying to get on the level. And so like I saw it as an opportunity to like do homework. It's like you're not going to get better if you don't practice. And I was like, if I'm going to practice every day, I might as well post it too. And whether I liked it or not, I most of the time didn't like it because I don't know because I was comparing myself to my favorite artist. So I was like, I'm never gonna live up to that and whatever. And so yeah, so I mean, and then I kind of I was letting the people decide because I was like, even there was a lot of songs at first that I was like, why do people even like this? I was just what I mean, I was just writing it and trying my best, you know what I mean? But I'm no, it was a good thing. People like what they like, and that's what I was doing at first. Yes, I was just writing a song a day or half a song a day, putting it out there. Fuck it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I love that
So,
attitude.
yeah.
It's a great attitude. What what happens? What's the first thing that happens that makes you go, "Oh, hang on, it's working"? Was it a video you put up? A
Yo,
certain
yeah. I mean, I employment cost.
Yep.
I did that and totally did not think that was gonna blow up at all. It was just I almost made it as a joke at first. So, and that worked, which was cool.
That's
And
the
then I
one about
quit
the
my
condom,
job.
right? The condom?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I just made it as like a little joke, and then people really like they resonated with it. I guess they like what I mean. They were like, "This means something to me." And I was like, "All right, fuck, I'll make it like a real thing." And then I did, and then I quit my job, and then nothing worked for a really long time, and then things worked again. Things worked again. People like things again. I got better. So yeah.
And obviously, eventually, Epitaph came knocking, but were there a few people circling you once you were going viral? Were they tapping you on the shoulder, going, "Hey, come over this way"?
Oh, totally. You feel like the belle of the ball a little bit. You know what I mean? Like people have been like, come on, let us buy you for, less than you're worth so we can take all
Yeah.
your royalties. And yeah, it's whatever. I get it. But yeah, it was cool. It was fun. You know what I mean? I felt like the girl that was getting asked out to prom, the popular girl. It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah, and what made you think, oh, well, look, I'll go with Epitaph?
There was a few reasons. I mean, first off, like indie labels, they don't have to be more competitive, but but a lot of times they will be because they're trying to compete with these like major labels and Epitaph, they're gonna offer you like basically a deal that's like more conducive to having a long-term career, more favorable for the artist. So a lot of like major labels will try to like I almost said steal, will try to take your tour money and your merch money and everything. It's a 360 deal, right? Epitaph isn't like that. It's like they're very much like involved. It feels more like your friends, you get to know each person individually. So that was one reason. And it was like a less parasitic deal. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this feels like we're a partnership. The other reason is because when I was like 13, I would watch all their YouTube videos and see the Epitaph logo, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! Like, this is like a scene. This is a new scene." And it's so funny to see everything recycled too, because like at that time, I remember all the old heads like being like, "This is lame. This is gay. I hate this." It's like 2010. That everybody was saying everything was gay back then, and then now I feel like it's recycling. I'm also seeing like Epitaph like post me and like the old heads back then, like what I mean, they're
Yeah.
also coming back like, what happened to Epitaph? They used to be a punk label. It's so
Oh,
funny to
okay.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And like like I get it because I mean, like hold the emo scene like dear to my heart. I'm like that. I thought that was cool. So I get it to an extent. But yeah, anyway, that's why I went to Epitaph because it's like brand recognition. It's like I can go to my friends and be like, "Yo, remember when we listened to the Epitaph
Yeah.
stuff? Well, yeah, I'm on Epitaph now. Isn't that kind of cool? Like that's kind of interesting to do, I guess.
Yeah, it
I
is
don't know.
amazing. Some of the it's hard to dissect your music and sort of try and work out where your influences come from. I hear influences of punk and maybe a little bit of folk and stuff, and then I hear like Panic at the Disco a little bit, and it's like a bitter.
Yeah,
What?
it is a pizza. And everything pizza. Sure.
Yeah, who if you could only pick one artist, who's your favorite
Mhm.
of all time?
That's tough. That's really tough. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it like kind of like goes back and forth. Like My Chemical Romance,
Yeah.
and then I really love The Strokes, and I really love Cage the Elephant. The Strokes is difficult because it's like you can't really take from The Strokes. It's like so specific. My Chemical Romance is kind of from a scene, and like honestly, Cage the Elephant's kind of from a scene. It's like I love that whole era of music era. It feels like it was yesterday, but it was
Yeah.
like an era of music. Really, it was. So yeah, that's a lot of my influence. Panic at Disco was the big one for me for sure. But I was always a My Chem kind of guy. I really love that song Mama by My Chem, which you can definitely a lot of people said, "Oh, I can tell on your acoustic,
Okay, I'll have to
like
go back and
spooky
listen.
songs." Yeah, give it a listen. So
Yeah. I tell you what though, the words that you use for the songs, I mean, some of the lyrics are just they're kind of like beautifully wacky.
oh
Does
yeah, thank you. Yeah,
where do these words come from? They're everyday words, but you're just throwing them together and it all makes sense. Like
I know.
how do you sit down and write a song like that, especially Glorious Day?
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's weird. I feel like the universe gives it to me is like hippy dippy as that sounds. That's what I feel like. I feel like the universe like gives me these words, and the more I think about the words, like the worse they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can go back into my like discography and be like, oh yeah, I can tell I was thinking about the words here. A lot of times it'll be like first verse. I'm like overthinking the words a little bit. Like maybe the first few lines, it feels like I got them from who the fuck knows where, and then I overthink it a little bit because I'm like, oh, this is good, this is good. And I tend to let go as the song goes on. But lately, I've had a really good time. I've been not overthinking the lyrics. I feel like the lyrics really just like I just like spit them out. It's like when a rapper's like freestyling, you know what I mean? They
Yep.
just like come out and I throw them on paper. Like seriously, that's the best way to do it. As the in my opinion, that was the best way to do it. It's gotten for me personally, like I've been reading a lot of poetry and like don't ask me what the author is, the book's over there, but I've been
Yeah.
reading a lot of this poetry book, and that I feel like that's been helping a lot. I feel like I've been getting a lot more poetic with the lyrics, you know. But anyway, that's a good question. So
It's a common cliche, and Travis Barker actually brought it back up recently. He was talking about how sometimes just the first idea is the best idea. Do you find
yeah.
that with a lot of your songs? Because you're saying that these words are just sort of shooting down from the sky, right, straight into your
Yeah.
brain, and then you're just probably
Yeah.
launching them out.
That doesn't mean they're good, by the way, but that's how it works for me. But yeah, I agree with that to an extent. I think that like I think melody and rhythm are different. I think melody and rhythm you should be like looking at them under a microscope because it can always be better. I mean, to an extent, you don't want to like overdo it, but I think if you go through like two iterations of it, that's chill. You know, I mean, you're
Yeah.
not going to lose the moment and the organic stuff of it. But sometimes when I'm just like playing and like smacking a guitar and like yelling out loud, I feel like I'm like trying to build. More focusing on the beat, and I'm not focusing as much and the lyrics, and I'm not really focusing as much on the melody and the rhythm of my vocals. And I feel like I have to go back and tame it into something that's actually good.
Okay.
So I think
So
yes and
sometimes
no.
it might
Like
get a bit,
yeah,
sometimes it might get a bit
yeah,
too wacky. Is that what you're
right.
sort of saying? You
Sure,
want
yeah. Like the melody would be too. This is dumb to say, but it'll be like too catchy and
Oh,
lame.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like you know what I'm saying. Like everybody's sang that melody before because every melody has been done. You
Yep.
can't like write an original melody anymore. But yeah, so I feel like if it's too much of like a melody you've heard before, like that can happen a lot. Or it feels like I'm just yelling, and it's like, what notes am I even saying? Like I need to tame this into something. So yeah, I don't know.
A lot of the songs do have different styles to them as well. Sometimes you just sort of stay acoustic, and then in others, it seems like it rocks out a bit more. Fajita's a lot different to Glorious Day, that sort of thing. I
Yeah,
love Fajita.
me
It's a
too.
great
I
song.
like
But
fajita a lot.
yeah, if I go and see you play, how does the show look? Is it just you on an acoustic guitar? You got a whole band there? Like, how do you get all these songs done in a live show?
Yeah. Right now it's me and my guitarist that I play with a lot, and we've been writing a lot of guitar stuff together. It's Mondissimo. You'll see him on my Instagram, but yeah, we do backing tracks, and then all the guitars are live, obviously, like the lead
Nice.
guitar, the rhythm guitar, and the vocals are all live. But we have like backing drums and bass because I don't want to spend $40,000 on the on the band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not 1995 anymore. It's like you
No.
know everybody can rough it, and like we can stay in hotels. Like fucking the shittiest hotel is like $200 or whatever. So it's like it's not, you know what I mean. You gotta cut corners when you can. You know, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You know, so I don't know.
You raise a really good point there. That yeah, these days you don't really need all the bells and whistles behind you anymore. I mean, so many
Yeah.
people are playing to tracks and adding
Yeah.
bits and pieces to the show. And to be honest, makes the show sound better.
It does sound better. I would prefer a band. It's
Yeah.
just honestly, it's just personally, it's just like financial thing, and it's like, and I think like people have become more individual, like individuals nowadays. Like I feel like a guitarist will have his own account with like 100,000 followers on it. It's like
Mm.
back in the day, I feel like it's like it was more of a like team effort. I mean, there's still bands out there that are great. I just feel like you're seeing a lot more individuals nowadays. You know, it's like sure, I would love to have a band, like a full band sound, but you know, I feel like I've gotten really good at like faking the band. You know what I mean in my music at this point. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you see the difference between St. Louis and LA, California?
Um, that's a good question.
Are they completely
I think,
completely different places? I just
oh
picture
yeah,
I picture LA and California just a million miles an hour, and St. Louis might be a little bit toned back.
there's a lot of things I should say. Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, St. Louis is kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a dying city, but I mean, in a
You
lot of
said
ways
it.
it is. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I liked growing up there. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a lot more conservative than LA is. How about that for like starters? You know, a lot of Trump supporters and stuff like that. But
Nah, yeah.
so yeah, no, LA is a lot cooler. However, I do think that like people really it's so funny because LA is such a beautiful place, but it's the most removed from nature I've ever been. Like,
Yeah.
and it has the most beautiful nature, so it's so weird, like such a weird combo. Where St. Louis, it's like things are slower, and you can hear the cicadas at night and stuff, and it's
Mm.
you can actually feel like you're a part of nature in a lot of areas. And LA, it's like I feel like all of the rich people kind of took up all the good spots, and there's too many people and whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, or
Uh,
it's a national park. You can't like stay next to the nature. You can't like sleep next to it unless you camp. But
yeah.
yeah,
You do get somewhat political in your songs.
sure.
I reckon it was one of the best lines I've ever heard was, and you're gonna kill me. I can't remember it now, but the nukes, the billionaires, and the neighbors' kids.
Yeah,
That's just.
yeah, yeah.
I remember driving at like three. I get up really early to go to work, and I was on the highway at like 3:30 in the morning, and I heard that line, and it just splits through anything you're doing, anything you're thinking. When you hear that line, it's like, oh my God, it's so true.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I definitely, I feel like a lot of people my age are definitely in the US are feeling it right now. I mean, I'm having a hard time not writing about it on the EP, to be honest. I feel like the lines have gotten a little, like the actual written lines have gotten a lot more specific
Hmm.
and spiteful and and angry. Um, so
Are
I,
you
I appreciate it.
are you concerned that Trump gets back in?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm concerned if either one of them gets back in, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, like, yeah, it's concerning for me is like feeling safe here and like in the
Mm.
country, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would just love to see a third party get into office, to be honest,
Yep.
because it's like it feels like both parties are bought and paid for at this point through like super PACs and whatever. Like they're just, they're bribing themselves at this point. I just don't. It just feels like a nightmare a little bit,
Yep.
But it's interesting because I feel like I'm catching the tail end of like of I don't know, like the greatness of whatever capitalism, like whenever capitalism actually was good. I feel like I'm catching the coattails of that, and I'm about to fall off, maybe. So who knows? I don't know.
Well, American politics is watched very closely in Australia because it does have an impact on us as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
if
guys own our news channel, dude. Like,
yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, you guys go to war, we go to war. So
oh yeah,
it's one of those things where you just sort of like, the leader of the United States, whoever it may be, is such a big thing for Australia.
yeah. I bet. I definitely bet that's true. I was talking to somebody from Australia and they were saying the same thing. It's like, we all watch you guys. We think you're idiots. I was like, all right, man. I can see that.
Talking of Australia, you reckon you'd ever come out here?
Oh, yeah. I would love to go to Australia. That'd be so fun. You guys have all the best bands too, like an
Yeah.
artists that come out of
What
there.
bands do you like?
Yeah. Royal Otis and Tame Impala.
Oh
You guys
yeah,
have plenty more that I don't know are from there. You know how I feel like it always is revealed that they're from there. It's like, what?
yeah.
Another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, the bands here are just they are epic. It's really, really cool. The only thing is it's hard for them to sort of get out of Australia, I suppose. We just feel like even though we're a massive island, we're
Yeah.
pretty far away. And sometimes like in America, America is the hardest market to crack for Australia. If
Mm.
if an Australian artist can crack America, they can do anything. That's our belief anyway.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's weird because I mean that is one thing the US hasn't really lost yet is like I feel like it's got its things and culture
Mm,
completely on like international culture,
yeah.
local culture. You know what I mean? All of it. It's just it's all the US. I mean, they definitely pump a shit ton of money into the entertainment
Yeah.
industry in the US, so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
What is next for you? You're talking about an album or an EP coming up again. I know you've only just released music. Well, it feels like that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels like that in the modern age, right? But like yeah, I'm working on the CP, and it's been something that I'm actually working on. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like before it was kind of like gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta show people I exist.
Mm.
There's too much going on the internet. I gotta show people I exist, and I feel like this one I've really taken my time. I'm really just trying to let it speak for itself. Obviously, I'm gonna market myself still, but I think it'll speak for itself. I think it's very good. So I'm
Does it
excited.
all get a bit too much sometimes? Like you're a busy person. Does it all sort of bubble up at the end, or do you manage to hold it down and stay ahead of everything that you've got to do?
I don't know. I think at one point I was letting it get to me. Oh, what
It's
was
my
that?
dog. Sorry. Sorry.
Doggy. What's your dog's name?
Hang on. George, hang on 1 second. George, what are you doing? Come and say hello to Ro.
Oh, he's a big guy. Hi,
Can you see
Georgie.
him?
Oh yeah, he's big.
He's
Look at that guy.
he's massive. He's like a Saint Bernard cross poodle. And sometimes I try not to get him to bark in the middle of the podcast, but
No, it's fine. It's cute. Big
can't.
dogs are always the nicest dogs too. They
Oh,
look the meanest. They're always the nicest ones.
he's so lovely. Just like here he comes. He just sits around and just. And if you see
Oh.
someone out the front, he just sort of has a bark like that, and it sounds like he's going to eat someone.
Well, he's cute. I like Georgie. He looks nice.
Yeah. Where were we? We were. I don't
I
know.
don't remember. Oh, does it get too much? No, yeah, certainly at times it did. Like, I think I was kind of coping with like drinking a lot, and
Yep.
then I was like, I have to stop this, and I did. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I replaced it with a lot of really healthy habits. I think I became like kind of addicted to like trying to eat healthy and like waking up and like working out and running and being in nature, like being addicted to like good things, you know.
Yep.
So
Are you
I kind of
sober
yeah.
now? Are you completely sober?
I'm trying, yeah, LA sober, so yeah, I mean, no alcohol really, so that's
Yeah.
good, that's the one that'll kill you. I mean, weed here
Yeah.
and there is fine, but yeah.
Yeah. Weed's legal there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's legal in a lot of places actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think even in my hometown, it might be legal now. Actually, I just saw that shrooms are like being sold in LA now,
Holy
so
shit.
that's crazy. Yeah, so wild. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to fly over there and have some shrooms with you one day.
Sounds good.
Ro, thanks so much for jumping on the podcast, man, and experience telling us all about your music. And like I said, I truly mean it. Some of the lyrics I've heard you sing and say are some of the best I've heard. And I've been listening
Oh,
to
thank you.
music for a long time. But thank you so much for jumping on the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No worries. Hopefully, when you come out to Australia, we can grab a beer
Oh, I hope
or a
so. I
water.
really want to get out there. Oh yeah, no, I'll have a non-alcoholic beer. There you go.